Hope you're all feeling well today. I've noticed that some of you are feeling a little sore from a heavy week of core and push and handstands and whatever else you guys have been up to. So today we are going to be looking at mobility and the importance of mobility, why we need to incorporate that into our calisthenics journey. One of the main things is that it gives us a lot of awareness. So we all know that through handstands and through back levers, and then when we're trying to connect everything from our fingertips all the way through the kinetic chain, we need to have A, good range of motion, B, awareness, and C, control. So these things are all together and packaged within calisthenics. So we talk often about investing in our physical pension. You know, some of you will have like a savings account, and we need to think about our bodies and our workouts in a very similar manner. So when we think about our bodies and how we invest in ourselves and in good movement quality, and ultimately we're in these bodies for life. So the motions and the movements that we are incorporating, not just in our workouts, but we need to be doing this on a daily basis. Some of you who follow me on Instagram, as I say, Coach Owen, Performance OBJ, you'll know that I've been incorporating a lot more movement snacks throughout the day. So not just concentrating on my workout, but investing sort of 5 minutes, 10 minutes throughout the day, making sure my hips are moving, making sure my body and my shoulders are in good positions. Because again, we're guilty of these poor positions, which then when we try to go to do a handstand, we're not in optimum ranges of motion. So we're going to be looking at mobility today, heavy on mobility. We're going to be looking at upper body, lower body, and then integrating that together. So hopefully that makes sense. I'll be taking it through very progressive. So follow along with me, work to your level. Don't feel like you need to smash yourself into the ground. That's not the feeling, or that's not the essence of today's flow or follow along. But hopefully, any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments on YouTube, Instagram. Please let me know. I'll try and answer them as we go. If not, we'll have a few minutes at the end for me to answer. So without further ado, the main focus today is joint health and longevity. So hopefully these things come across, basically control and then working to build strength with that newfound range and control. So without further ado, we'll get going. So I'm going to do this on the floor, but feel free to stand up for this. However you do it, just bring good awareness and good intention. So Friday feeling. To start with, I'm going to be sat in Senza, but whether you want to be sat on your bum, that doesn't matter either way. So I'm going to be here. So I'm going to be taking my neck round in a clockwise direction. I'm not forcing anything, I'm just moving. This might be the first time you've moved your neck today. So I'm going to do 5 in this direction. That's 2. Feel a real stretch coming through these scalenes, sternocleidomastoid. 3. Whoa, I can feel that. 4. Good, 1 more. 5. Good, and we're going to reverse it. So go back, same way. 5. 4. 3. Good, guys. Just nice and smooth and controlled. 2. You feel a real stretch coming through this front of this neck. Last one. Good, nice, guys. As I say, you can be stood up for this or sat down or anywhere in between. That's fine. Cool, from here. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at the shoulder. So look to the neck. So this first part, we're going to do upper body, then we're going to do lower, then full body. So we've done the neck. Now we're going to move to the shoulder. So I'm going to make a fist, a tight fist. And then from here, I'm going to go all the way up, gripping with my fingers. And then I'm going to go all the way to the back as far as I can. Feel the stretch over my biceps. Coming back up. Nice and tall and long. I'm going to internally rotate, reaching back towards that fireplace behind me. That's 2. You can start quite small with these circles and then start building. That's fine. 3. Reaching up, internally rotate, feel that stretch around the back. 4. One more. Reaching up, nice and tall. Internally rotate as my fists go towards the back wall. Good. Back to the front. Now we're going to reverse it. We're going to come forward like butterfly stroke in swimming. So all the way to the back. Squeezing those fists. Good. 5. Reaching back. Externally rotate. Nice and smooth and controlled. 4. Same again. External. Squeeze. Up. 3. 2 more of these, guys. Again, open those palms to the ceiling. Internal. Good. Final one. External. Open that chest. Reach behind. Good. So with our shoulders, anything in the front is called shoulder flexion. Anything behind, shoulder extension. So that's a really good way of doing the full shoulder range. Cool. So from here, I'm going to work on my thoracic spine. So we've done the top, we've done the neck, which is the cervical. Now we're going to work on this mid portion, the thoracic spine. So with this, some of you might be familiar. I like to do like spinal waves, but you're going to give yourself a nice big hug. It's Friday. So I'm going to keep my pelvis or my hips static. So whether you stood up or sat down, that's fine. So from here, give yourself a hug, and then I'm going to keep my pelvis facing you guys, and then I'm going to do a little roll. Not a massive movement, but I'm going to try and go all the way as far as my mobility allows, and we're going to do 5 of these. So give yourselves a hug, and then keeping the pelvis where it is. So the main movement is coming from this portion of the spine. You see that? Good. So we're going to do 5 of these. I look like a little weeble wobble. 4. Thinking about a center point in your chest, and you're trying to move around that. 3. Might get a little bit of clicking and popping. 2. Last one. Then we're going to change directions. 1. Good. So if you're doing this, you're taking it away from this middle portion of the spine. So it's not a massive movement, but you should be feeling it through that mid portion of the spine. Right, so we're going to go the opposite way now, 5 reps. Again, you can start small, 5. You can gradually get bigger, 4, 3, increasing a little bit, 2, good. Give yourself a nice big hug, last one, all the way around. Oh, come back. So again, you might get a little bit of clicking and popping through those, but they feel really nice. So what we don't want to do is put you in a position where you feel pain. We want to always stay away from pain. Pain is a signal from the body saying that something isn't right. Doesn't mean the exercise is bad, but it may not be right for you at this time. Good. So we're going to go into a cat-cow now. So again, we're going to start bringing in some of this thoracic mobility. So we're going to be on all 4s. Now from here, I'm thinking about dropping my chest to the ground, but keeping arms straight. Notice how my arms are straight and they're also in line with my knees. I don't want to be here, and I don't want to start sort of letting them bow out the other way either. So arms straight, and they're also in line with my knees. So from here, I'm going to think about moving my chest, my solar plexus, all the way up. Again, keeping the hips where they are at the minute. And then I'm going to drop my chest all the way down, keeping those arms straight. I'm going to do 5 of these. 5. Dropping all the way down. 4. All the way down. 3. Good. All the way down. Driving that chest up. 2. all the way down. Good. Last one of these. All the way up, all the way down. Good. So if you feel comfortable still on your knees, stay in this position. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to look to do a circle but with my chest. So I'll do it face on so you can see it. I'll just turn YouTube down a little bit. So what I'm going to do, that same position, and I'm going to look to do a barrel roll with that chest. So my chest goes down to the ground, move to the side. I'm going to lift my thoracic spine up, move over, back down. Okay, that's one rep. So one rotation. So I'm going to do 5 of these one way, 5 of the other. So thinking about dropping my chest all the way down, still keeping those arms straight. I'm not out here. So arms straight. Drop that chest through, move over to the side. I'm going to lift the thoracic spine up, move over, drop down. That's 1. All the way up, move over, 2. You might feel a little click or pop in your pelvis. 3, as long as there's no pain, that's fine. Good, that's 4. Last one, lift that thoracic spine up, drop down. 5, good. We're going to go straight into the opposite way. So over to the right hand side. Lift that chest up to the ceiling, coming over, dropping it through. 5. Keeping those arms straight. Drop down. 4. Good, guys. Lift that chest up. 3. Good. 2 more. Chest up. Move over. 2. 1 more. Lift. Slide over. Drop down. Back to center. Good. What do you want? Cat's shouting at me. She wants to have a go at the cat cow. Right, so from here, what we're going to do, we're going to work on the hips. So when we're in this position, we're going to be on all fours again. Now I'm thinking about taking my pelvis through that full range of motion. Sorry, my hip, my femur. Okay, so that is in the pelvis. I'm going to think about driving it round in the socket. So I'm going to be on all fours again. I'll show you what I want. Hello. So I'm going to lift my hip up, moving it over and round. Good. So I'm thinking about making a big circle. 5. So I'm really thinking about squeezing this glute med. I'm thinking about lifting up, squeezing it out, round, back to the side. Can you do these? Lifting up, to the side, back down. 4. So keeping those arms straight. Lifting up, move to the side. 3. Good. 2 more. Again, a lot of the work comes from this outside of the glute. You're not doing a very good job, are you? 2. Good. Last one of these. So lifting that knee to your chest. Squeeze it out to the side, moving it back to start. Good. So we're going to do this other side now. So I'm going to bring that knee to the chest. I'm going to squeeze that glute out to the side. I'll show you this side. Knee to chest, squeeze that glute, round, back to the front. That's 1. Okay. So we've got 4 more of those. Knee to chest, squeeze out to the side, rotate round, back to the start. 2. Up, out to the side. Go back, bring it back in. 3, 2 more. Forward, out to the side. Squeeze, back to the front. Final one. Squeeze, internal, glide round, back to the front. Woo. So you can feel that in your glute, you can feel that in your hips. So we need to remember that our hips and the complexity of our hip is very similar to that of our shoulder. So when we think about the range of motion or how we get the shoulder nice and warm, we can apply those similar that similar awareness and range of motion to the hip and vice versa. Quite warm today. Oh yeah, the cat, she'll be back. She'll be kicking the door down in a minute. Right, but that's real life, eh? Animals, pets, kids, whatever. We've all got to deal with these things. So a slice of real life. Cool. So now we're going to work into the lat, and then we're going to work a little bit more in lower body. So I know we sort of moved a little bit forward into lower body, but it made sense with the articulation of the thoracic spine to then move into the hips. Cool. Right, so a little bit of lat stretch now, and then we're going to go back into lower body. So don't worry, James, I've seen your comments. So from here, we're going to be taking our hands, lay them in front of us, and then we're going to take them to one side. So I'm going to sit back on my haunches. So whether you've got your toes up or toes down, that doesn't matter. So from here, hands to one side, and then I'm going to put one hand over the other, and then I'm going to lean backwards so I can feel a real stretch coming through this latissimus dorsi. So I'm going to sit back, lean in from here. If it feels good, I can oscillate backwards and forwards. So I can feel a stretch coming into that hip, into the pelvis, all the way up this side. So laterally. Good. We're going to spend 5 seconds here. 4, 3, 2, last one. Oh, good. And I'm going to sit back and then release. Good. Moving the hands over to the other side. So one hand over the other. So I'm going to take my right hand over, left hand on top, sitting back, and then I'm going to oscillate in and out. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. So again, feel free to do a little bit more of these, or you can do another round of that. So what you'll find is if you've got a tight lat, it'll pull everything down, and it will also make you do a duck bum. So we need to release some of this, especially if you're doing handstand work. We need to make sure we can get good over range or good full shoulder flexion. Right, so now we're going to go into more hip-based work. So we're going to be sat on our bum. Sat on our bum. So from here, again, work to what feels comfortable for you. I'm going to put my feet together, my soles together. I know you got soul. So feet together, and then I'm going to take my hips as close to my heels as I can from the side. So work to your mobility. So feet together as close as I can. And then from here, I'm going to think about actively squeezing or pulling my hips out. If you need to use hands behind you to just help you with balance, that's fine. I'm going to think about squeezing. So really pulling my glutes. Good. 4, 3. If you need to come out of this at any point, do so. 2. After the last one, keep your heels together. And 1. So from here, I'm going to lean forwards now. So I can feel a really deep stretch coming through my adductors. So I can feel that stretch. You won't go far. Well, some of you might, but obviously I'm not going very far, but I can really feel a stretch. So you can get hold of the carpet or the floor in front of you. Just lean in. Spend 5 seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Slowly. If you need to bring your knees together, do so. So you can really feel that in your glutes and in your hip flexors. Yes, that Ollie Ricks 13, you can feel that in your lats, right? That's a really good stretch. One of my favorites. So that what we did there was like a butterfly stretch. We're going to go back into that in a second, and we're going to move dynamically in and out. So question for you, homework if not. Do you know the difference between flexibility and mobility? Obviously, it's difficult because you know, I'm just having to guess your answers. But the difference between flexibility and mobility is flexibility is the ability to get into a range passively, i.e. you might be able to pull your heel to your bum like this. So that is flexibility. But mobility is the ability for you to pull yourself in and out of that range. So that active range. So flexibility is the ability to pull it into a range, but mobility is if I pull up with my hamstring there. So notice the difference. my flexibility is to here, but my mobility isn't as good. If that makes sense. So the difference between, yes, grinding XP, my man. So the difference between flexibility and mobility is basically the strength in that range. In calisthenics, we need that strength through range in order to be able to get ourselves into a position and out of a position. Think of a skin the cat is a really good example. So you might be able to pull your hands behind your shoulders. So you might be able to put your hands behind your shoulders, but what we need is the ability to generate force in that end range position. LA. Right. So back into that butterfly stretch. We're going to be on our bums again. Got my glamorous assistant. So feet together from here, and I'm going to slide in. So pulling myself in and then push away. So I'm taking some of the weight into my hands. I'm going to pull myself in using my glutes and my hamstrings, and then I'm going to push away. Not a massive movement. Pull in. Okay, does that make sense? So we're going to do 5 of these. Feel free to do more. So feet together. You can keep one hand here in front and one hand behind, if that makes sense. What you can do, I'm thinking about actively drawing myself in and coming away. 5 of these. 4, 3, 2, last one. Squeeze, pull it together, and 1. Good, nice. So hopefully that makes sense. Initially, we were pushing ourselves into a position, but now we're having to actively generate force to pull and push ourselves in and out of that position. Hopefully that makes a bit of sense. So what we're going to do now is a little bit more squat work. Okay? What are you doing? Right. So from here, what we're going to do is, so again, just to preface this, if you have any pain, discomfort, niggles, aches, again, your body tells your story. So at any point, if you need to come out of a position, do so. Okay? Don't worry about it. Listen to your body. So what we're going to do now, we're going to be in full squat position. Might have a bit of help on this one. So I'm going to be in full squat position. Ideally, my heels are going to be flat to the ground. Going to be here. Heels are flat to the ground. Okay, what you might need is a small lift or something just to lift your heel up, or you might need to grab hold of something to allow you to sit back into that position. Okay, well, what we're going to do from here, we're going to be in this squat position, however you manage it. We're going to put hands together, and then I'm going to do like a little prayer position, like a little bow, hands together, knees out, back together. 5 of these. Create that space. 4, 3, hands together, push. 2, last one. Good. If you need to stand up and out of this position, that's absolutely fine. But those who are quite comfortable in here, feel free to stay in this position. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go single side. So we're going to take our right hand, put it on our left leg. So from here, I'm going to look to open to the left, come back down. If you find this quite easy, create a longer lever length. Okay? Again, at any point, if you need to come out of that position, do so. We're going to be here, full squat. Right hand, left leg, and I'm going to take that left elbow pointed to the ceiling. Okay, if that feels good, left, all the way up, down, down. We're going to do 5, okay? Up, up, down, down. That's 1. Open, all the way, rotate, down, down. So we're 2 for 1. We're doing hips and thoracic spine. That's 3, 2 more. Open, up, close, down. Last one, up, down, and down. So we're going to move over to that other side. So now, again, if you need to stand up, do so. Take my left hand onto my right angle. And so either rotate just with using your elbow, or if you want a bit more of a challenge, that's fine. But if you're only going to here, that's where you're at. Again, don't worry about that. No stress. So elbow, extend, down, all the way down. That's 5. Up, up, down, down. That's 4. Rotate, point to the sky, down, 3, up, 2 more. Again, over time, you get more and more range. Rotate up, point to the ceiling, down, and down. Good. So again, that, those who've spent some time or have worked with, yeah, Kat just did a backflip. She loves it. She's a right Insta social cat. So that, when we're in the squat and the rotation, that is one of my favorite. That is like bang for buck. If you remember one thing, remember that one. That is a wicked one, as well as that lat stretch. Really good. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go into a figure 4 position. So some of you will have done this. Anyone who's done any sort of like track or field or anything like that, just to get the hips nice and warm. So yeah, she's my kind of cat. So we're going to be sat on our bums this time. Bring the heels up, and then we're going to flop them over to one side. So notice how I'm using my hands at the back to load and just give me some balance. So we're going to go left and right is 1. We're going to do 5. So we're going to go all the way over. So you might just get to 45 degrees. That's cool. You can go further, go further. So I can feel a stretch coming through my ankle. Back to the center, over to the other side. Good. Have a second there. Back to the top. That's 5. To one side, back to the other. 4, 5. 4. Good. That's 3. Left. Right. That's 2. Good. Left and right. Back to the start. Nice. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take that end range position and we're going to generate force. Remember what I said about flexibility and mobility? What we've done there is move in and out of those positions, but we haven't really had to generate a lot of force. So what I want you to do now, we're going to move over. So take the example to this left-hand side. So I'm in this 45 degree, or sorry, 90-90, I believe it's called. But from here, I'm going to think about squeezing my legs together. So those who did the Cossack squats last week. So from here, I'm thinking about squeezing my legs together. Feel a stretch coming through the adductor and the hip flexor. And I'm going to slowly lower myself down. So if you need a yoga mat or a cushion or something under there, that's absolutely fine. Feel free to do so. But now I'm trying to use as much leg power as possible. I'm not trying to pull myself up, but if you need to pull yourself up or you need a partner, that's fine. But I'm here, I'm squeezing my legs together, rising up. Feel that stretch, and I'm going to slowly lower myself down. Okay, that's 2. We've got 3 more, then we're going to change sides. So squeezing legs together. Again, full big proud position, chest up, slowly down. So really heavy on the glutes. Good position, 2 more reps, guys. Chest up, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. All the way up, slowly down. Good, last one. Up. And all the way down. If you're finding that's quite hard on your knees, or if you're struggling with that position, feel free to go back to those 90-90s. Don't feel like you need to do that position. Just consider that a progression. Right, so for those of you who feel confident, we're going to go to the other side. And as I just said, if you prefer to just do the 90-90s, that's cool as well. She's getting annoyed now. Right, so we'll go to the other side. I've gone to my right-hand side. So you'll find that one side feels better than the other. So squeezing together. I'm squeezing the inside of this leg. I'm squeezing this leg as well. I'm squeezing the glutes. I'm going squeezing up, rising up. Feel a nice stretch coming through hip flexor. Going slowly back down. I'm trying to offset by putting my arms forward and allow me to sit back into that position. Nice and smooth and controlled. Good, that's 1. 4 more. Squeeze the legs together. Coming up, feel that stretch. Again, slowly come back down. That's 4. I can feel it even more on my left-hand side on this one. Up, squeeze. Slowly come back down. 3. Good. 2 more, guys. You're doing really well. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Sitting back, slowly down. Good. Final one. You're doing really well. Again, squeezing, create that impetus. Up, up, up. And then sitting back, glutes back, and down. Good. So that's like a 4-stage lift. Karen, so good to see you. So you can really feel that hip flexors, glutes, adductors, working hard. Nice. So now we're going to extend this position. Yeah, JD. So as I've noticed and other people have noticed, that you'll be stronger on one side than the other potentially, or you'll have better range. So that's really interesting. And this is why it's good to work unilaterally. So when you're in a squat position, you can feel both legs working. Whereas when we're in this, we're having to rely more on one side than the other. Good. Yeah, is the main lifting side for 90-90 the front leg? I actually feel it more in my back leg, but that's personal preference. It might be because it's tighter. As I'm squeezing legs together, it's my front glute and my back adductor. So 50-50, but I can feel it more in my tighter side. Cool. Right, so from here, should sit bones be on the ground? Yes, I would say. So if you're really tight, you might not be able to get sit bones down. That's where having like a yoga block or something underneath your bum, so you can regress it very slightly. So that will lift your bum up so that you're not having to go down through as much range. All right, so from here, what we're going to do, we're going to do a long lunge. So those of you last Friday who did the lower body workouts, what we're going to do now, so we're going to do this long lunge. What are you doing? Hello. Right, so long lunge position. But what we're going to do, we're going to hold this long position and we're going to work dynamically through here. YouTube. Meme generator. How do I know if I have pelvic tilt? So this is a good question that you guys might work out. So in your hips, if you think of your hips as a saucer of water, if your hips go forwards, that's anterior pelvic tilt. If they go backwards, what's called like lordosis, if it's spilling backwards, posterior pelvic tilt. So anterior, posterior. So some people, when they relax, they stand like this. So that's posterior pelvic tilt. Some people, if you're twerking like this, like having a big bum is all the rage, anterior pelvic tilt. Hopefully that makes sense, meme generator. Right, long lunge time. So from here, we're going to go in. I'm going to take my left leg forward first. I'll show you what I'm after. Sorry, YouTube. Right. So we're going to be coming forwards. So I'm going to be static in this position to start with. If you want to increase the difficulty, what we're going to do, think about your hips. We're going to slide the hips forwards. So I can feel a big stretch coming through that hip flexor, the iliacus or iliopsoas. Leaning forwards. To increase that stretch more, turn that back glute on. Squeeze it hard. So I'm going to think about sliding that pelvis forward. 5. Pushing on that front leg, come back. Coming forwards. Again, what I shouldn't be doing is trying to exaggerate it and take the emphasis off my hips. What I'm trying to do is keep the glutes on, slide forwards. Good. 3. Got 2 more. Glutes on. Hips, same level, but I'm going to slide forwards. 2. Last 1. So again, torso upright. Sliding forwards. Cool, you feel that? Hip flexor. Nice. Again, if you want to put a cushion or something under that back knee, that's cool. So, changing to the other side. Same again. So 90 degrees in the front to start with, and we're actually taking that knee over that toe. So you feel a stretch in the ankle. Feel it coming through that hip flexor. Keeping this glute, this left glute switched on. Sliding back. So that's 5. Slide forwards. Feel that stretch. Pushing back. 4. Again, hips should stay a similar level. Slide forward. Feel the stretch coming through that ankle, coming back. 3, 2 more. Postman's here. Yes, Daniel. Just chuck it on this bin, mate, would you? Cheers, pal. Postman's here and all. Right. So last 2. Come back. And the last one. Slide forwards. And back. Good. Sorry about that interruption. I don't want to have to go to the post office. Right, so you can feel that inhale flexor. What we're going to do now, so that's like moving in and out of range. But what we're going to do now, from here, we're going to go back into that long lunge position. We're going to think about driving up, coming back down. So whether you put your toe flat or onto your toes. So here, we're going to lean forwards and we're going to squeeze. Feel that, exacerbate that stretch, coming all the way down. We're going to do 5 of these. So keeping this front foot flat, driving through the ball of the foot and the heel, chest up, squeeze, up, 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 all the way down. 5. Good. Squeeze, all the way down. 4. Good. Up. 3. Good. 2 more. Up. 2. Last 1. Feel that stretch. Squeeze the glutes. Rise up. Slowly down. Good. So from here, change legs. So I've got my left leg forward now. Right foot on the ground. Right knee on the ground. Chest up. Again, feel a stretch already in this position. What we're trying to do though, squeeze the adductors, hip flexors, and we're going to go up. Okay, so squeeze the glutes, turning on. Feel that stretch. Slowly back down. Notice how my knee is coming over my toe. A healthy knee should be able to go over the front of the toe. Cool, that's 1. Driving up. Slowly down. 4. Again, final 1. Driving up. And down. 3. Got 2 more. Driving up. Slowly down. 2. Last 1. I can even feel it in my back foot. So even that fascia and your muscles on the foot are working as well. Find that balance, proprioception, all the way down. Good. Nice. That's a really good one though. I really like that for lower body. So dynamic. We're increasing the amount of range we're able to exhibit force through. So those of you working on your like front splits, a lot of people can't do splits. There's no muscles stopping you doing the splits, but it's more your central nervous system stopping you because it does feel strong in that range. Okay, so the stronger we are through range, the more force or the more range that we can exhibit strength through. All right, final one. We're going to go into a bit of spinal extension. So I think the placeholder for this is me doing a back bridge. So again, back bridge is a really good goal, but you need to make sure that you're able to exhibit strength through range. So we're going to show you, or I'm going to show you a few ways to get into spinal extension. So we're going to be on our knees again. Apologies to anyone who's got bad knees, but on our knees again. And what we're looking to do here, gradually. So those who did the JD, I know you're in here, Kelly Bean. So we're going to take our palms, put them in the middle of our back. So palms, middle of our back, and we're going to look to open our chest. Open up to the sky and come back. We're going to do 5 of these. So I'm starting and stopping in a vertical position. Palms in the just above my glutes. I'm going to open my chest to the sky. Good, I can feel it in my abs, and I'm also opening through the pec and the shoulder. Good, got 3 more. Again, open up to the sky. Good. Let's have 1 more. Open to the sky, looking up and back down. Good. So we're just trying to Again, anything in the front of the body. So if I fold forwards, that's spinal flexion. And if I go backwards, that's spinal extension. So if you need a lot of good spinal extension to get into a bridge. So what we're going to do now, taking hands, and I'm either going to put them onto my ankles or my calves. So from here, we're in this position. I'm going to have 5 deep breaths. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. When you're ready, push yourself back up. If you're struggling to get into that position, you can just break it down by keeping your hands on your glutes. And over time, you can just try one hand, or eventually you'll get into 2 hands. So we're going to have 5 more of those. So again, hopefully that makes sense. All the time, we're progressively trying to build strength through range. So I'm not expecting you to go off and do the hardest version straight away. This is a journey. Same with a handstand. First time you kicked up into a handstand, you didn't just absolutely smash a handstand. So one of the really nice things is when you go into a back bridge or at least into spinal extension, you can probably feel that through your pec, your bicep, your anterior delt, because we're basically taking everything, cranking it backwards, opening up to the sky. It's like the antidote of being sat on the laptop too long. Really good position. So I'm going to do another one of those. So whatever range you're at, whether you want to be putting your palms in your back, palms on your glutes, hamstrings, we're going to be opening up. Okay, but we're going to do 5 deep breaths again. So this is the last one, and then we're going to put some stuff together. So working through that full kinetic chain. So whatever level you're at, so I'm going to open up, shoulders back, reaching onto the soles of my feet or my ankles. 5 deep breaths. Nasal breathing. 4. Big breath. 3, 2. Last one. Good. Slowly pull yourself back out. Good. Nice. So we've got 2 more exercises and then we are done. So yeah, Joe Meehan, my man. So this is, it's good to be making mental notes as you go along, just working out, okay, I feel tight on this side, or this needs work, or I could do with spending more time on such and such. Really good things to look into. Right, so we're going to go into what's called a Qdr Pushup. This is a really nice thing. You can feel your lats, feel your shoulders, a little bit of lateral rotation as well. Back bridge comment. Can you do splits there? My back bridge is rubbish. Can't straighten my arms. If you can't straighten your arms in a back bridge, it would suggest to me that A, you can't get full shoulder flexion, and B, tight hip flexors. Colin Hewitt. So yeah, if you want to get into a full back bridge, so here, if you can't get into a back bridge, mine needs work, but I'd be saying that you need more shoulder flexion, the ability to go overhead, and B, or 2, tight, or your hip flexors are tight or weak. Cool. Right, so from here, what we're going to do, we're going to be palms in front, so shoulder width, like when we do a frog stand. We're going to take our knees to one side, and we're going to lean forwards and push back. We're going to do 5. So left and right is 1. So see here, take my hips to one side. Those who've done like a firefly will be used to this. But now what we're trying to do, get a little bit of rotation, but also strengthen the delt. So knees to one side, leaning forwards, pushing back, hips to the other side, lean forwards, push back. Good. So we're going to do 5 of those. If you want to make that harder, what we're thinking about is taking our hips to one side. I'm leaning in, and then you can take your feet off as well. So a little bit of balance as well. Okay? So hips to one side. So I can feel that thoracic rotation. Also transverse rotation. So hips to one side, leaning in, pushing back. Just wait to your level. That's 2. So hips over to one side, leaning in, come back, over to the side. So you definitely find one side will be better than the other. Leaning in, come forward, push back. Good. 2 more. So left, hands on the ground, lean forward, come back, to the other side, hands on the ground. Again, you might be quite low. That's fine. If you want to increase your lever length, come back. 1 more on each side. Palms down, hips to the side, come forward, lean back. Last one. Taking hips over to the side, leaning forward, come back. Okay? So the main thing we're doing there is trying to shift our hips. So moving our hips, we can feel that lat working as we're coming in through that longer side, pushing back, and then just shifting the other way. And then by exerting force or creating strength in those positions, more likely to hang on to new ranges. Right. So finally, bit of down dog. And then from there, we are done. So a couple of minutes, questions, and then you can go about your weekend. So downward dog. Again, I'm no yogi, but I really enjoy having elements of capoeira, yoga, gymnastics. It's all different paradigms of the same universe. Again, however you want to label it, ultimately it's just all movement, right? We're just enjoying moving our bodies. So finally, from here, downward dog. So we're going to be elbows tight like we are in a frog stand. So here, screwing those elbows in. Move you down a bit. So here, so we're going to get a nice bit of hamstring stretch. So screwing those elbows in, taking the bum high. So some of you may have spent some time in downward dog, and that's cool. You'll probably do it better than me. I really like this as a full body kinetic activation. So elbows screwing in, taking my bum up into the air. Even in this position, I can paddle my feet. Hello. Feel the stretch coming through my calves. Screwing those elbows in. I'm going to drop forwards like a Hindu push-up. Take my nose through into cobra. And then you can either reverse out, or from this position, you might have to go out. Either pushing up. Okay? So I'm going to do 5 of these. Maybe you've got a cat who's helping you out as well. Right. So 5 of these. So remember, elbows screwed in. Through that stretch, coming through your lats. I always like to throw a little bit of movement left to right. Oscillating left, right at the start. Elbows pointing back. I'm going to slide forwards. Coming through. Drop those hips. Again, moving in and out. And then you can either push back into that position, or feel free to just push up. Okay? That's 2. So we've got 3 more. Elbows, screw them in, bum nice and high. Hamstring, feel that stretch in your hamstrings. Don't worry about putting your heels down. Just create a bit of a stretch through your calves. Either paddle, do little steps. From here, elbows screwed in, coming forwards into cobra. Then from here, I'm going to push back. 2 more reps. If you need to come out at any point, do so. Again, I like to throw a little bit of a twist here. Screw those elbows in. Slowly come forwards, pushing up. Again, even in this position, move backwards and forwards. Reverse. Good. We've got 1 more. Left, right, moving around. Again, ears between biceps. Keeping those elbows screwed in. Coming forwards. Drop those hips. From here, reverse, and then you are done. Push in, back. Woo! Well done, guys. So just to recap, just to talk through the main points. So feel free to grab some water. Yes, so again, I spoke about downward dog, but you're correct. Rajdeep, we did go into like a Hindu push-up there. But again, feel free to scale that. Whether you just want to do a down dog, that's cool. That is a really good mobilization of connecting that full chain. So main things to think about. We're in this body for life. So quality of movement is probably the paramount thing we should be thinking about. The ability to exert strength through range, super important. Okay. So from there, we spoke about investing in our physical pension. How it's important that we're going to be in this body for life. We need to be investing in it daily. Just 5 minutes, 10 minutes throughout the day, moving, embracing this body, and then working on things that we need to attend to. From there, we did upper body. So basically work progressively down. Necks, shoulders, thoracic spine. From there, we dropped down, cat-cow. Then we went into our hips, butterfly stretches, 4-figure lifts, and then long lunges, back extension, and then basically put some of it together. So transverse rotation, exerting force, and then into that down dog or Hindu push-up. Cool. So hopefully that makes sense. Remember, every weekday between Monday and Friday, there is a live workout. And in fact, next week, I think there's 2 workouts on some days. So either yoga or whatever it is. But hopefully you're staying safe and well during this time. If you're looking to get better at handstands, I've noticed some handstand comments. There is an awesome, like probably one of the best School of Calisthenics guides that they've released, the handstand program. Have a look on their website. It's awesome. There is a free, the Bodyweight Basics is free throughout lockdown. So that was a £40 product that is now free. So have a look on their websites. Also, feel free to connect with me, Coach Owen, Performance OBJ, on Instagram. If I've not answered your question, please don't feel that I've ignored you. But there's a lot of questions, so I'll try and do what I can. I'll answer some more questions in a minute on IGTV. Other than that, feel free to connect. Handstand up to Corona, hashtag handstand up to Corona. Win prizes every day on your handstand journey. So don't feel like you need to be the best. Just share it with us as coaches. We'd love to see your progress. So I'll just have a quick look through here. I think I pretty much got through here. We do 1990s, glutes to be fully. Yes, when we do those 1990s, ideally glutes need to be on the ground. But as I say, if you feel that you need to increase that range over time, sit down onto a yoga block or a book or something like that and progressively get better. Again, some of you noticing that you've got better rotation on one side than the other. So it's definitely worth spending time working through that. Again, we didn't do a lot of wrist prep because usually when we do handstands and stuff, we do a lot of wrist prep. So today's session was mainly trying to work through other stuff. So YouTube, I wish you all the best. Really appreciate you sharing your time with me. Much love. Have an awesome weekend. Hopefully you feel a bit more loosey-goosey after all that. So much love to you all. And I hopefully will catch you next week. Again, Monday with Jacko, Tuesday, me, Wednesday, Tim, Thursday, Jacko, Friday, me again. So have a look on the website or Instagram, it will tell you. So nothing left to say other than class dismissed. Right, you guys.